97.3 Citi FM. Relevant radio, always.
Preparations are going well. We have done most of the work that needs to be done. Notice of polls has gone out because all of that, you see, our constitution says that it is the electoral commission that should handle our elections when it comes to the presidential primaries. So all that we have done is to ensure that any bills coming from the electoral commission, we meet them and settle them. And basically, that is what has happened. I believe everything is on course. I believe we are on track. We have done the notice of polls. The voters' album is ready. All the candidates, the 3 candidates have received the voters' register. So they and their agents can begin to verify. I think they've started the verification anyway. All that is now left is for us to ensure that on the day, security is in place. We held a meeting with the Inspector General of Police and his operations commander and his deputy. Those operations guidelines have gone out from the police command as well to all regions and therefore onto all district police commands. Same with the Electoral Commission. I think the 2 pillars are in place now. We have also internally, we have a National Elections Committee, and that National Elections Committee has also got its own subcommittees across the country. And those subcommittees are also all in place. They are the ones who liaised with the district electoral committee officers to pick the polling stations and all that. So everything is in place. And so it's in the open. So everybody comes, and on a first come, first serve basis. You arrive. That's why we open poll from 7 till 3. Because people have to go about their other duties, day-to-day duties. And we are not press ganging people and saying, oh, we'll call you out in a certain order. No. It's like a general election. We're talking about over 140,000 people. So you come, you go in, go through the verification process, you cast your ballot, you go home. That's it. And so that as people come in or trickle in throughout the day, by the close of poll, we should have finished. By 3 o'clock, everybody should have finished. But if people have delayed and come in very late, and it's 3 o'clock, and they're still in the queue, they are allowed to vote. But if you come in after, because there'll be a line drawn in the queue, you come in after 3 o'clock, unfortunately. But the parties made arrangements to transport delegates. Therefore, there shouldn't be any reason why people will not be able to make it, except for reasons beyond their control, like ill health, etc. Matters arising within the family, emergencies, so and so forth. From where I sit, I have admonished them all the time to remember that this is an internal contest, and we are only going through a process where we are going to distill and bring out the choice of the delegates. So that choice becomes the party's candidate. So we don't want a process where we will end up having to do a lot of firefighting after the 18th. I have been at pains over the weeks to say this, to reinforce and emphasize that. From where I sit, I wish it could have been even better, but there is no human institution that is perfect. There's no human institution that is perfect. I wish I could say perfect, but it's not perfect. But show me where on earth you have a perfect situation. We don't have it, sadly. But I think it's good for us. We are on course, we are on track. And as a party, as I said at the beginning of the press conference this morning, I said, the main theme of our discussions with you is unity. I saw people were amazed. They were looking and wondering, but you should be talking about the elections. But he's saying the main reason why we've gathered, that's what I said, the main reason why we've gathered is to talk about unity. Because for me, all the necessary building blocks towards the election itself have been put in place. So now what is left is to begin to look to 2016. And from where I sit, as you asked that question, from where I sit, 2016, we can only win 2016. We go in as a united front, with a united front, working genuinely and honestly and sincerely with each other. You know, I would just give you this analogy. If you look at a family, you've heard of the term sibling rivalry. Even sibling rivalry affects family unity and cohesion. So if we have a kind of rivalry within the family, at the end of the day, nobody wants to lose. Nobody likes losing. People will be bruised. People will be sore. It will affect our unity. A one misplaced word here, a look that wasn't seen to be very good there. And people read a lot into that. And we need to then turn around and embrace each other. So when I talk of unity, I've always given this example. I say, you go to a hospital, you find somebody lying sick in a hospital bed, and then you go to greet them and you say, how are you? The automatic response they give you is, I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, and you're lying in a hospital bed. You see, so it's the same thing with unity. People just mouth it. Unity, unity, unity. That is why I'm always harping on it. So it can sink in. So people will understand that unity means that all the pains, the hurts, the slights, and even perceived slights should be addressed and put aside so that we can go forward together. Unity is important. Yes, we will not begin now to talk about this strategy in detail, because there are two strands to this. There is the strategy for the party itself, the strategy for the party to get itself together and to be that formidable machine that we know it can be and has been in the past, to carry the candidate towards Jubilee House. But the candidate who comes in will also come in with a strategy. And strategies that we roll out will be strategies that have learned the lessons of 2 electoral defeats. We must include them in whatever we do. So from the part of the party, yes, we have looked at that and we have developed strategy, which is still an ongoing process in terms of unrolling it out. Because you see, you must have strategy. And out of the strategy, you roll out your tactics for every aspect of an election campaign. So we need to deal with that and then wait for whoever emerges as a party's candidate to see that person's strategy for their election, because they will be the party's candidate. And being the party's candidate, whatever strategy they have, we must now try to synchronize it with the party's strategy to move forward. Again, unity, to unite strategies. So we cannot go into detail now. My message will be an expansion of what I just said at the press conference, which is that we must go into this embracing each other as brothers and sisters. We must go into this understanding that we have gone through a process from 7 candidates, and the process of distilling their messages and coming out with the eventual candidate is what they're engaged in. And that once we can do this together, without hurting each other, without doing the things that will work against our unity, that is what will really eventually pay off for us as a party. So I am asking all the delegates and non-delegates as well, party members, party sympathizers, who will be around, that we should embrace each other. Make it a happy occasion. Make it a good day. On the lighter note, who is winning on Saturday is actually in the lap of the delegates. And there are 140,000 of them. I cannot second guess them. I cannot. All I know is that sitting here as the shepherd, I will shepherd the situation till we have a candidate. And once we have a candidate, then instead of speculating, you will hear me announce it confidently to the world.
97.3 Citi FM. Relevant radio, always.